Hello everyone, welcome back. So in the previous video, we had successfully linked our iOS application to Firebase. And now in this video, we are actually going to work towards actually linking our Android application to Firebase. So without anything for you to do, let's get into it. So the first step that we're going to do is something that you can skip if you followed along in the previous iOS Firebase setup video. And what we're going to do is that we're going to go to our pubspec.yaml file, and underneath of our dependencies, we're going to add all of the dependencies that we require for our project. So Firebase cores the dependencies with the core functionality of Firebase. Analytics provide this functionality for Firebase Analytics. Authentication, or Firebase Auth, actually has all of the authentication logic inside of it. Firebase Storage allows us the ability to actually store files on the Firebase storage servers. Cloud Firestore is the database we're going to be using that's hosted on Firebase. Provider is just a state management framework. Image picker, again, is a dependency that is going to allow us to access the media files on the device. Time ago is going to allow us to actually take in a timestamp, and then we can convert that timestamp into a string that actually tells us, oh, this timestamp was 4 hours ago, a day ago, a year ago, stuff like that. And Flutter Screen Kit is one of my favorite Flutter packages, and it actually gives us access to a bunch of really cool loading animations that we're going to be using throughout the development of our application. So with the dependencies all copied in, what you can do is you can either do command save, and this should automatically do Flutter packages get for you, or if it doesn't do that for you, what you can do is you can navigate to the source root directory of your Flutter project, and you can do Flutter packages get, and this should then get the packages for you. Okay, so now this is done. The first thing we're going to do is that we're going to go over to Firebase, and you're going to click on Add an App button. And if you do not see an Add an App button, there should be an Android button here, which you can click somewhere here. And then once you click on that button, you're going to see that it'll make a selection like this appear. We're going to click on Android, and then I'm going to type in the package, and the package that we're going to use is going to be com.example.chatify app. The nickname is again going to be Chatify. Then we're going to click on register app. Make sure you copy this or keep track of what your package name is. We're going to download the Google services.json file. And then I'm just going to go to my downloads folder. I'm going to drag over the Google services.json file. You can click on next. What I would like you to do is actually follow along with this step, because these steps do actually translate to Flutter too. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to go to our Android folder, and then we're going to click on the build.gradle file. And then we're going to go back and we're going to see that Google exists. So yes, it does. For the repositories under all projects, Google exists, so it does. And then we have to copy this line, so you can just click on this icon, it'll copy that to your clipboard. You can come back and paste it under dependencies. Once that is done, you can do command save. The next thing we have to do is we have to go to our app level build.gradle file. So that's going to be your app. So it's going to be Android app, and then the build.gradle file. And there you're going to see that we have to add these two plugins. So just go and see where these plugins are. And you're going to see that there's line 24 and 25. The lines may differ, but it says apply plugin, com Android application, and apply plugin, Kotlin Android. So the only plugin that we have to apply is going to be the com.google.gms Google Services plugin. So you can copy that, come back, and we can just paste it under, do command save again. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to copy this line of code, add the Firebase SDK to the dependencies, and we're going to go and we're going to see where the dependencies are for our project, and you see they're here. So at the end of this, we're just going to paste this here. Now, once all of this is done, the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to increase the minimum SDK version, and we're going to change the minimum SDK version to 21. And the reason we have to change the minimum SDK version is for the fact that the Firebase plugins that we're going to be using actually require the minimum SDK version to be 21 and above. So for that reason, we're going to change the minimum SDK version. I would also recommend right now that you go back and copy the actual Android package name, come back to your build.gradle file and paste your application ID from what you actually registered in Firebase. So it's going to be com.example.chatify app. Make sure there's nothing else like this here. And I think we're also done with build.gradle, so we can close build.gradle. And now what we're going to do is that we are going to copy over our Google services.json file, and we're going to copy the Google services.json file into the app folder of our Android project. So Android app, inside of here, we're going to copy. So inside of app, not inside of source. Make sure you do not copy it inside of source. You're going to put it inside of app, and we should have the Google services.json file now in. So now you can just close your Google services.json file. Okay, so now that we have our Google services.json file also in, what we can do is close all of the files that we had opened. We can go back to our main.dart file. Make sure that you import the package Firebase Analytics.dart package, just so that we can actually make sure that our app actually pings Firebase. Then you can do command save, and then you can do debug, start debugging. And I'm going to select my Pixel 2. Okay, so while building the application, I encountered some issues to actually get the application loaded up onto the simulator. And what I found out was that you have to change the minimum SDK version from 21 to 22. So make sure that the minimum SDK version is 22. Once you do that and you do command save and just close down every file and you do command save and you rerun the app, you're going to see that the app files actually load up on the simulator and the app starts running. So now if you go back to Firebase, I'm just going to pull it up. You're going to, and we click next, next, and next. It'll say that congratulations, you've successfully added Firebase to your app. And the reason why this works is because we've added this import statement that actually imports the Firebase Analytics package. And what this does is just initializes the analytics functionality for Firebase and then pings the server, and Firebase knows, oh, I've been pinged by an Android app. And then it says, oh, congratulations, the app has been linked. So with that, I'm going to end this video here, and we have successfully implemented Firebase inside of our Android application for Flutter. So with that, I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one.